Hello, everyone. Great to connect with the drivers of the digital future. This group of esteemed CIOs. All of us have stumbled into a hybrid digital world. The amount of transformation our generation has seen is quite phenomenal. But today's and tomorrow's generation would be digitally native. This would pan out in this decade. Obviously, this transition will impact every aspect of life. Business to consumers, and government to citizen services are being consumed in a sophisticated digital way. This will demand a very robust and adaptable underlying hard infrastructure. Unlike the non-technology infrastructure, India has a very good head start on the digital infra front. With its unique scale challenges, the country will require a very indigenous path to achieve its digital future. Thankfully, government has realized the significance of technology and have taken critical steps in this direction. India Stack is one of the most unique digital technology, and we may be one of the few countries that can easily jump into the metaverse world, which is enabled by the government. The grant of infrastructure status to the data center industry in the recent budget will further help the journey. Airtel and Nextra has had a vantage point of seeing the transition to the digital world in last 2.5 decades. By serving more than 450 million consumers and 1 million businesses globally, gives us a unique slice of the digital future. Critical factors driving all these changes will need scaling of the physical infrastructure. Specifically, with respect to data centers, which is the heart of the digital infrastructure, we see 4 distinct trends. The first one, geo-distributed data centers. 2, low latency interconnected platforms. 3, scalable infrastructure. 4, sustainability or go green. Let's start with the first trend, geo-distributed data centers. Some of the key drivers which are driving data center towards distributed versus centralized or decentralized architectures are user experience. Need for bridging the gap between physical and virtual experience is critical, especially when the contents are becoming heavier. Many applications demand near real-time experience and hence needs to be distributed to be more closer to the user. Regulations. Just zoom out and look at the global map. Data localization laws have pushed global products and services companies to set up their regional and country-specific infrastructure so that they can adhere to the local laws. India, being the main attraction of the world market, is surely attracting the local nodes with seamless integration to the global workflows. Connected devices, all around us, isn't it? Connected world where devices will talk and empower us to take real-time informed decisions. Currently, there are 25 billion connected devices, which is approximately 3.5 times world population. And this is just the beginning. The scale surely demands for geo-distribution. Being the largest network of data centers in India, with more than 11 large and 120 edge data centers, Nextra by Airtel will enable this digital journey. We are committed to increase our capacities by 3x to reach to 400 megawatt in coming years. Our deep, seamless, and densely connected data center platform enables enterprises to carve new edge services to serve global customers. Low latency interconnected platform. That's the second trend which we see. Consumers demand services at a click of a button, or maybe even before they think. Industry verticals like education, healthcare, gaming, manufacturing, financial services, as well as technologies like AI, ML, IoT, need to overcome these latency challenges. In the envisaged digital future, a single second too slow can signify the difference between efficiency and disaster. 5G will bring down the network latencies by 1/10, and this will further put demand on the associated infrastructure. Reality is, we are witnessing these trends almost on a daily basis, and the sheer quantum and velocity of change will only accelerate. Nextra, along with Airtel, is creating India's largest and most seamless network of data centers, underlying fiber, terminating subsea cables within these digital hubs, and enabling multiple cloud ramps from these facilities to ensure the low latency applications can be hosted. Edge data centers connected on the minimum 400 gig networks also enables us to provide a very low latency experience to end users. We have taken conscious decision to host 5G nodes in these data centers, which will reduce the hops between consumer and digital platform. A couple of weeks back, a couple of mine visited a large hospital campus for a regular health checkup. His experience at the hospital became unpleasant on an account of multiple jumps he had to go through to get the registration done, and also observing the delays due to IT network not holding up as per expectations. Only if we were able to host all critical applications of the hospital on a highly reliable edge data center and make complete campus 5G enabled, and thereby reduce the frustration from unreliable Wi-Fi IT infrastructure, wouldn't the life of employee and the patients be enriched? Moving on to the third trend, which is scalable infrastructure. India's per capita data center density is 1/6 of the developed countries. As per Anurag, DC capacity per million internet users in India is less than 1 megawatt versus 8 megawatt in US and 21 megawatt in Europe. Even to catch up with the developed world, we will need to increase our capacities by 6 to 8 times in coming decade. While mobile users will grow from millions to a billion plus in coming few years, average data consumption per user today has reached 18 GB per month, which is highest in the world. With a thrust on digital-led future, which I referred earlier, this number will again multifold in coming years. All this data needs to be stored in an efficient but highly scalable infrastructure. With hyper-converged and denser IT infrastructure, need for higher power density will increase. Existing captive data centers will become redundant. This is a tech burden that needs to be shed to measure up to the future. Hyperscale and high-density data centers, which enables easy scalability and supports hybrid and multi-cloud architectures, will be needed. Nextra by Airtel has committed 5,000 crores of investment to build 7 new hyperscale data center parks across the country. These data center parks alone have the potential to nearly double India's current data center capacity. Covering most metros, these hyperscale parks would be established across Mumbai, Pune, Kolkata, Noida, Hyderabad, and Bangalore. I'm happy to share that we have recently launched state-of-the-art hyperscale data center in Chennai. We call it Chennai 2. Let's have a quick glimpse of our latest addition. I'm sure you liked what you just saw. We'll be very happy to host each one of you at this facility shortly. Moving on to the last trend, which is sustainability. And this is probably the most critical and important trend which we see. In the existing digital journey, we will have future only if we are able to grow sustainably. Data centers today consume 1 to 2% of nation's energy, and this is expected to grow to 6 to 8% in coming decade. Data center industry alone can set back the green ambitions that countries are driving if we do not move to green sources today. Green will also mean use of newer technologies for efficient usage and just not restricted to source of energy. This is already a major board agenda for most organizations now, as investments are getting linked to ESG performance. Customers, be it global or Indian enterprises, will measure the service providers for their ESG practices. Within Airtel and specifically at Nextra, we have taken critical steps to ensure we move towards greener sources. We have removed carbon emissions per rack in our data centers by 24% in last 3 years. 35 our energy consumption across data centers is green today. And we are committed to move it to take it to 50% in next 12 months. Trends are path dependent and can surprise us on occasions, but the digital future seems most sure-footed to us. I'm happy to be digitally reborn. I now look forward to hearing and learning from our CIO friends in the next session, Sandbox. Thank you for your time today. Back to you, Sanchit.
Thank you, Rajesh. That was a wonderful presentation, and congratulations on investing in the right direction in terms of sustainability. I think that's, as we are seeing in the Q&A as well, that's a huge topic of concern. And I'm so glad, it's sort of, I feel so happy reading these questions that people are considering sustainability as such a big topic. Is this something that you want to talk about in terms of how sustainability, as you said, at board level, it sort of comes through? And when you have these conversations actively with your clients, are metrics being asked? Like, people are asking cost benefits, etc. Can you give us an example of, let's say, a customer? Anything top of your mind that comes to your mind?
Sure, Sanjay. I think there are many global customers who are driving this agenda along with us, right? So typically the decarbonization plan, the net zero plans are getting asked very frequently. We are now in a stage where we will be starting publishing our sustainability reports, which clearly defines our KPIs and our performance against each KPIs year on. So now there is a complete transparency in terms of the objectives and the measurement metrics as well as our performance, and that gets reported at not only Nextra board but Airtel board level in every board meeting.
That's fascinating. From where we have started to where we have arrived today. I think that's quite a journey that you guys have taken. Congratulations. Now, there's a question, great questions from Maharaj and S as well. That do you have any roadmap for an ocean data center? Because you're in Chennai, you're in Bombay. These are ocean locations. Any thoughts on that, Rajesh?
No, I think we are a commercial data center providers, right? It's typically ocean data centers and stuff like that are primarily larger global cloud players are experimenting with them for their cloud grids, right? As a data center provider, we need to make sure that we are able to serve all types of customers in a commercially viable way. That's our business, right? So as of now, we do not have any roadmap of getting into the undersea data centers, but there are obviously very aggressive plans in terms of building large hyperscale data center parks as well as multiple edge sites across India.
Sure. And there's a question from Jayaraman SV on a different tangent altogether. Will Nextra provide 40 gig and 100 gig support switches, and what will be the commercial impacts?
Yeah, so maybe I can discuss the commercial separately, but as part of Nextra, we offer data center services, associated hardware supply, and managed services, the complete suite of managed services. So maybe I can ask my team to get in touch with, understand the requirement, and offer the right solution.
Excellent. I think this is music to your ears right away. Before you go, maybe I missed this, but is there a estimate, let's say 30%, 40%, 50%? Of, let's say, the green energy being part of the Nextra data centers. Maybe I missed it. Sorry about that. But what's that aim within Nextra?
So currently, we use our current green renewable share is about 35%.
Right.
We've already signed contracts. The solar plants are under commissioning right now. In next 12 months, we will cross 50% of our target. So that's our first immediate target. And we are looking at going net zero by 2030. So that's a aggressive target, which we have kept internally for us.
So even before we have an EV, we will have a green data center. Yeah. Wonderful. Rajesh, thank you for your time. There are more questions coming in, but we'll take it separately because we are at the top of your time here. Thanks again for a wonderful presentation. Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Sanjay.